Other systems that we'll encounter periodically are going to be some alternative systems. And these are a little bit more rare to find, and they're not as widely known about. And part of that reason is because there's always new technologies that are being developed with drainage systems, with these engineered septic systems, and so and they'll find that one idea didn't work so well, and it'll be phased out, and another one will come in. They'll start installing this other type of system, and these alternative systems, you maybe have heard of sand filters, pre-treatment systems, and aeration is also a lot of times involved with these alternative systems. They're just what they're trying to do is they're trying to find better ways of getting that water to drain in soil types that aren't, are not set up for proper drainage. So real heavy clay, real rocky type soil, or or that fine sand that we were talking about that just doesn't drain real well. What they're trying to do is get that water as clean as possible before it gets back into trying to drain into the ground. That's going to, number one, obviously just help that water go away, but it's also going to help with the longevity of the system. When we have soil that's having poor drainage, we're going to be susceptible for anaerobic bacteria growth, because anytime there's heavy water use from the house and there's a lot of water that comes out to the drain field, we're going to get this flooding effect where the drain field is holding water because it's not able to drain away as fast as it's coming in. And anytime that drain field is holding water, it's not getting oxygen from the surface. And when that bacteria gets suffocated, it's going to go from aerobic to anaerobic. And that anaerobic bacteria only works at about 70% the productivity of the aerobic bacteria. And what we'll find is that that's going to allow the biomat in the drain field, that bacterial layer, to thicken, and it becomes sludge-like, and it also starts to work against the drainage and won't allow the water to drain through like it should, and it's going to accelerate the rate of failure in the system. So these pre-treatment systems, whether it's a sand filter or there are some name brand systems. Aranco makes some, Advantex makes some. There's different brand pre-treatment systems that have filters. They have aeration, which is adding oxygen to help accelerate that aerobic bacterial growth. The sand filter is just like it sounds. It's a filter. It is making the water go through the sand to help filter it so that it's cleaner before it drains from the sand filter into the conventional drain field to help. Again, that cleaner water is going to drain away easier than if it is full of particles. And then the same thing with the pre-treatment systems. There's many different setups, but a lot of times the pre-treatment, it's basically a tank that the water comes into it. It's going to go through aeration, so there's constantly oxygen being generated into that effluent. The water is going to be pushed through filters, so it's got to go through this process before it can be sent out to the drain field. And again, allowing it to, giving the system a better chance for a long life, and be able to get that water to drain in soil that's not optimal optimal for drainage. So a little bit more complicated on that end. A lot of those systems are going to have more complex control panels to control the pumps. There may be more than one pump involved in these systems. There's going to be timers that only allow so much water to be pumped out to the drain field at one time. So it'll be set up for a very specific number of gallons that are allowed to go out to the drain field, and then it has to rest for a certain period of time. And then once that time has passed, the timer will say, okay, you can go ahead and pump some more water out there. So it's giving it just small doses of water over, throughout a 24-hour period. So even when there's not active use in the house, it's still continuing to pump out a little bit at a time, so that the drain field and the soil below it can keep up with the amount of water that's coming out and avoid that flooding effect. And then there's other combinations of float switches and, like I said, multiple pumps and components in the control panel that are going to get more complex when it comes to diagnosing if there's an issue. Cost, again, replacement cost when there are issues. So you want to be informed on what type of system, and I'm talking about if you're looking at purchasing a home and you find out that it has one of these alternative systems, you want to really get an understanding of what is involved in taking care and maintaining that system, because that can become costly. Some of those pre-treatment systems will also require a yearly inspection. So there's another expense involved, along with just your regular cleaning of the tanks and any pump issues that may happen. You're also going to have an inspection cost on top of that that's going to add up over time. So just make sure you're getting all the information, not just did it pass or fail, what type of system is it, what type of maintenance is that system going to require, and what kind of costs does that involve. Just so you have an understanding when you go to put that offer on the house, that may affect the way that you're looking at the expenses that you're going to see in the future.